right. Good evening. Good evening. Hope everybody is doing great. I wanted to jump right into a topic that a lot of people during this time period have conflicts with. And I really wanted to put this discussion together simply because being a real estate professional and, of course, being a business coach, a lot of questions come up and these things come up. And from 2025, there's been a lot of stretch on what are the next steps for a lot of adults, even our big age, right? So I really wanted to lead this discussion really just to have a conversation of awareness of what can be done and what things could be done to kind of help out with our next move. I'm Lorie Woodruff, real estate professional and business coach in the Maryland area. And I want to ask you one question. I want to ask you one question. What's your next move? What's your next move? Not next year, not next someday. You always have that someday. Not when the market changes, not when the interest rates get better, not when your kids get older, not when you feel ready. I'm talking about the move that you've been avoiding, the business that you've been thinking about, the podcast that you've been wanting to launch, the ebook that you've been talking about for years, the consulting business. Hello. The speaking career, the second, third stream of income that you said you wanted to do, the investments, the conversation, the decision. And that's the main word that comes up a lot when I'm speaking with a lot of individuals on their next move is, have you made a decision? And your next move is already on your heart. I promise you, it's already there. You've just been negotiating with yourself. And one of the biggest reasons people stay stuck isn't because they don't have opportunities. It's because they have too many ideas and no clarity. And today isn't about adding more things to the notebook. We've got the notebooks. We've got all the notes. We've got all the pictures that we've taken at the Vegas conference and the Fort Lauderdale conference. We have all that. It's not about adding to the notebook. It's about helping you make a decision on what deserves your attention, what deserves your next attention. And as I stand here in 2026, I want to share with you a story of back 2010, what got me to this point of discovery. In 2010, I'm still in real estate. Relationships were okay. Business relationships were fine. But I'm in a place, and you probably have been here as well, where you're focused on something's missing. Something's missing. I don't know what it is. And you just have a cloud of, I don't know what's next. So I had a great friend that I spoke to. And I'm going to tell you this, when you have those friends, they're probably, you could talk to them once a year, once every 10 years, but God puts them in your life for a reason. So I reached out to him because I knew he knew me. And I asked a simple question. And I just said, look, I'm at a crossroads and I'm not sure what I'm supposed to be doing. And even at this big age, I don't know. And he says, I want you to go to a conference. I want you to go to a seminar. And that was more, it wasn't just a one time, but it was more of a membership. And it was the Circle of Champions in Maryland. And if you know Bob Yates, you know Bob Yates. He is the CEO of Circle of Champions. I was led there. And that group was all about how to start a business and how to succeed in a business. And so I'm a part of this network of entrepreneurs now. So I'm progressing from real estate girl up to entrepreneurship, a little bit more stronger. And as I'm inside of this group, I remember one day we did a roundtable discussion, and it was all about finding your purpose. And your purpose had 4 questions. That's it. This one piece of paper had 4 questions on it. And as I wrote the answers down to these very simple but complex questions, I cried, because this was the breakthrough that I needed to help me get through to what's that next level. What is that answer to the question that I've been looking for? So there were 4 questions on there, and they go basically just, what are you born to do? What are you supposed to be doing in life? And each of them had 5 answers to them. And as I answered them, none of the answers specifically said real estate. And that was the business I was in at that time. So the four answers that popped out, that came out were, what am I supposed to be doing? What is my purpose? Writing, okay? Creative writing, acting, and teaching and making money. So 2010, none of those answers said, okay, you're supposed to be a realtor. Writing, acting, teaching others, and making money. Those were the four things there. So as I started to think about that, I said, well, no matter what I'm going to do in life, I have to figure out what am I supposed to be doing with that. And from there, my answer came. That's when I was crying because I figured it out. YouTube, you see that pillow behind me? That YouTube pillow is where I was supposed to be because it allowed me to be creative with my writing. It allowed me to still teach other people online, entertain them, edutainment, as we call it. And it allowed me to make money through that channel as well. So I say all that to remind you that your purpose has a lot to do with the reason why you may not know what are you supposed to be doing. Okay? And that right there was the launch of why I do what I do today, especially with my coaching clients. It's more so we can't figure out the marketing and what colors do you want on your page, what should your logo look like. That we're not getting there yet. We need to figure out what is your purpose and what are you supposed to be doing. Okay. So from there, that's the reason why a lot of my clients now we're figuring things out, starting from clarity, starting from your purpose first. We're not doing what your neighbor is doing. We're not doing what the influencer doing. We're doing what God said you're supposed to do. Okay. So let's talk about why people stay stuck. I've learned over the 26 years being in business and real estate, the people who succeed, if you notice, are notice, are not the smartest. You notice that? You know, you look at people and you're like, I could do that. I could do that way better. And they're not always the most talented neither. You know what they did? They made a decision. They simply made a decision that they're not going to do X, but they're going to do Y. So why do smart people like you and I stay stuck? Why do they stay stuck is the question. Okay. Number one reason. Got three reasons here. Number one, there's too many ideas. Entrepreneurs, come on. Alicia, you know. There are too many ideas in our brain, and that's what we were born with. It's we're born that way. Okay. There's too many ideas. You have notebooks after notebook after notebooks, phones full of slideshows that you never even revisited again, books you've highlighted, courses you've purchased, hello, webinars you've attended, podcasts you said, I'm going to save, I'm going to get back to that. That was a good one. You've collected information after information after information, but you haven't collected momentum. Momentum is the key word. An abundance of ideas creates a shortage of action. That's it. That's it. You can have a whole bunch of ideas, but if nothing is moving, the movement is what is necessary. Okay. Reason number two why people stay stuck, the fear of choosing wrong. You don't want to waste time. You don't want to go back to that thing. You don't want to fail, of course. You don't want people to judge you also. So instead, you wait and you wait. And look, I've procrastinated. Okay. I've procrastinated. Most people aren't afraid of failure. They're actually afraid of the commitment. So when you take a look at those types of things, we're normal, but these are things we have to push through. These are things that you have to have a coach to tell you, hey, you can do this. Okay. Fear of choosing wrong is huge because we may think, all right, I've been in this relationship. I want to get back into a relationship with this guy or this lady. And I don't know, it may feel like the 2014 relationship when this is a 2026 person in front of you. So you fear that you're going to choose something wrong. That business didn't work for someone else. So guess what you're worried about? Okay, it didn't work for them, so it's not going to work for me. Okay. We got to push through these things. And these are the reasons why we stay stuck in the first place. Number three reason why we stay stuck is you're waiting until you're ready. Can I let you in on something? You ain't never going to be ready. You're never going to be completely ready. All right. What woman has actually said, I am so 100% ready to be pregnant and ready to have a family? I'm ready right now. Some things just happen and just say, all right, we're here now. We're here now. Okay. I wasn't ready to start a business. A business found me. And some of the things right now, I'm going to tell you, every successful entrepreneur you've ever admired was not ready. They jumped, they did it because they knew that the transformation had to happen where they needed to solve a problem. They needed to get out of what they're doing. They needed to fill their bucket up with retirement funds. They needed to make sure that their family was taken care of. They needed to make sure that their safety and security was taken care of, not with the job, but they needed to make sure they jumped. And they did it. And how many times do entrepreneurs fail? Plenty of times. How many times have I started a business and wanted to fail? Wanted to, probably many, many times. All right. How many times have I wanted to walk away from real estate? I have. But the thing is, you have to remember, why am I here? And what am I doing this for? And who's coming to save you? And those are the questions that only you can ask yourself. So the reasons why people stay stuck is, yes, you have a lot of ideas, too many. You just need one. The second reason is you fear that you're going to choose something wrong. And the third thing is you're waiting until you're ready, which is never going to be the perfect time. Action creates confidence, movement, motion, not the other way around. All right. The clarity that you need in your business doesn't come before the decision. Clarity comes because of the decision. Okay. It comes because the decision is everything. When you make a decision to lose weight, you're doing that and you're doing everything possible to get with a trainer to hold you accountable. When you decide you're going to eat a certain meal and go out to dinner, you make that decision and you just go. There's no wavering. Well, let me think about it. No, you're hungry. You're going to go. Okay. And for those that like to wait and procrastinate, let's talk about that. The cost of waiting is expensive. The cost of waiting is expensive. And so let's be honest for a second. Think about how many, this is the ones that have business ideas on their brain. How many ideas have you had over the past 5 years? Just think about the last 5 years. How many ideas have you had? 10 years. All right. And now you start to think, all right, how many did I actually launch? How many actually made it to the community? How many things actually got done? How many opportunities have you talked yourself out of because you're focusing on the minor things as far as what is my logo going to look like? What's the website going to look like? Who's going to help me when I have a tech problem? Okay. I'll raise my hand. I have done that. But I've had to have coaches and mentors to kick my tail to make sure we're not worried about those things. We have to focus on the bigger picture. We have to focus on the bigger picture ahead. Okay. Because how many opportunities I'm losing is a major problem in relation to the big picture of my life. How many people am I looking to impact? How many Januaries have come past and gone with the same goal on the same top of the list every single year? You just keep carrying it over and keep carrying it over. Waiting has a cost. Procrastination has a cost, not just financially, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. And every day you stay stuck in another moment, you're wasting time. And every day that you do that, someone else is launching that same idea that you had. Every day. I was talking with a lady today. She asked me to speak at one of her events. And so we had a long conversation. And she mentioned there was this AI creation that I wanted to come up with. And I had been sitting on it for months and months and months. And guess what? One of the other speakers is actually doing it. He's doing it right now, the same idea. And I said, well, you can't even get mad. You can't get mad because he made the decision to just actually do it. He did it probably unafraid. He did it without worry about how pretty it's going to look. He just did it. Okay. That's it. And when you start focusing on those moments of how many times have I left opportunities on the table? This is the reason why you need a personal trainer. This is the reason why you need a coach. You need there's different coaches for different areas of your life. Like I have to get up at an ungodly hour so that I can be in the gym. Because otherwise I wouldn't do it myself. I'm not going to do it myself. I have to be pushed in order to get those results. I have a business coach. So unless all the ideas that I have, unless I want to keep having 20,000 ideas, I've got to make sure my coach is telling me, did we get one thing done? All right. So those are the things, that indecisiveness, the procrastination, all of those things are expensive. All right. And they cost us money. So the future that we have, the future for your family is waiting on one decision. One decision. Okay. And me being in network marketing, I remember speaking with some of the members that would come through. Now, I'm one of the trainers and I'm looking to help because you said you wanted help. Okay. So now one of the clients is saying, you know what? This is not for me. This is not for me. And I said, I get it. I said, I'm sorry that your family, it was a little passive aggressive. I'm not going to lie. But I said, I'm sorry, your family is more that I'm concerned about than you just quitting. He said, what are you talking about? I said, your family is the one that's losing because you said 3 months ago that you wanted to do this for your family. You wanted to create that secondary income for your family. And now you're taking that away. So as a coach, is that harsh? A little, but it had to be said because it had to remind him on his why. Why are you doing this? Yes, it's going to be uncomfortable at times, but you said you were doing this for your family. So, it's okay. You can quit. But I'm more so sorry for your family because they did not get to reap the benefits of your full potential, what you could have done. And those are the moments where that's the reason why having a coach is making you push through those kind of moments of, okay, I quit. I quit. All right. Those are moments. They don't make you quit as much. Let's put it that way. Okay. So let's talk about a framework that helps people stay in business. And this is very important for those that are looking, when you're talking about your next income move. The reason why a lot of the clients that I work with have a framework to work through, we're going to go through that right now so that you can see what exactly that looks like. All right. There's a framework called MOVE, MOVE. So your next income move, let's talk about what those letters stand for. I want you to look at it like it's building a house. The framework for your business is just like building a house. You're not going to come in and say, well, I want to start with artificial intelligence. I want to start with cloning myself for marketing purposes. We don't start with marketing. We don't start with social media. We start with clarity. So just like when you're building a home, you see a beautiful picture of a home. You see it on the street. It's all brick, 2-car garage, windows, roof, all the things that finished house. But it didn't start that way. Right? It started with plans. Someone made plans to create that home. Someone created the plans to put it in this particular subdivision. Then it had to go to the permit office. Then it had to go to the construction team, the development team, foundation, structure, roof, windows, doors, walls, all of the things were then built. So as your coach, do we start with what social media platforms do you need to go on? No, we need to figure out, just like 2010, What's your purpose? What's your clarity? Let's figure that out and figure out what are you supposed to be doing first in your business. We got to figure that out. So the M in move, let's get that framework together because this is very important for every business owner or new business owner to know this is critical. The M stands for your mission. The M stands for your mission. What problem are you solving? What problem are you solving? What problem are you passionate about solving? If you could do this without a dime, what would you be doing? And if we rewind back to my 2010 example, writing, acting, teaching, and making money. Anything along that lines right there. I was doing reels before they were even reels. All right. So you have to figure out what would I be doing to solve a problem in the world right now that I would love to do, even if I didn't get paid for it. You're going to get paid for it. But what if, okay? That means that you would do it with no problem. What experience do you have that no one else has? Someone else needs what you have. Someone else likes your bookkeeping style. Someone else loves your project management style. Someone else loves your empathness. Is that a word? Empathness. Okay. That's the experience that you have that maybe someone else does not have. And that needs to be built upon so that that's a business just for you. Okay. The O in move is opportunity. Which opportunity fits your gifts? I'm not built for IT work. So that's not my gift. That's your gift. I'm not built to work on a car. That's not my gift. Okay. That's not me. I'm not built to be a principal of a high school. That's not my gift. All right. That's someone else's gifts. You need to figure out what your gifts are. And as we work together, that is identified first and foremost. Because when you have that breakthrough, you're not going to worry about, well, I can make 10,000 over here with Bitcoin and I can do this in the stock market. And is that for you or is that for them? That's the difference. Too many people are chasing what's going on Instagram. Too many people are looking at influencers and what they do. And they're not worried about internally, what did God say you're supposed to do? I want you to build around your strengths. All right. Your strengths and your strengths only. That's the goal when we get in. The V in the framework, we've gone from mission to opportunity to vision. The vision is if you committed to one idea, not next week, but 3 years. If you could see 3 years down the line, what are you focused on? Sometimes we're so focused on the day-to-day activities that we forget this is a long-term play. Okay, so I'm 50. So if I'm going to just now start focusing on, well, let me focus on my retirement starting now. I'm a little late in the game if I'm going to start focusing on retirement now. Can I do it? Yes. But when should I have started focusing on that? Decades ago. Decades ago. Okay. Here's a prime example. And investors, Alicia, you should even know this well. When you're looking at worrying about today versus tomorrow, this is a prime example when you're dealing with investors. Investors have a long-term focus. Their idea is focused on long-term gain, not just short-term. So let's say, for example, if you're in the trading market, you're not worried about the day-to-day market going up and down. If you're going to hold a stock, then you're going to hold it for the long term. But you're not worried about the day-to-day things that may be happening. You're not pulling out your money from the market. Oh no, oh no, you can't do that. Same thing with a homeowner. A homeowner should be thinking more of a long-term gain rather than, oh, the interest rates are 6.5% today. Oh no, I'm not going to do it. You know, the payment, they said the payment is going to be too high. It's too expensive to be a homeowner. When realistically, the majority of the clients that I've gotten into homes at least 3, 4 years ago already have over $100,000 in equity in their home. Why? Because they're focused on the long term. They're not focused on, I'm going to buy it and then, oh, I'm going to get out of it in 2 days because it's, oh, the rates are going up or the market is shifting. So your vision as a business owner has to be long term. We're not worried about, okay, it costs $300 to, we have to pay to the Secretary of State. Okay, every year to keep your LLC in good standing. Okay, we got to pay to play. I'm not worried about the website that needs tweaking because it's not perfect. I'm not worried about the day to day things. I'm worried about, I'm here for the long term. The goal is to make X amount so that my family can be okay, my retirement can be okay. And that should be what your desire is as well. E in move of the framework, the last letter is execute. Ideas don't change lives by itself. Execution does. Action, action, action beats perfection every single time. Motion, baby. We're looking for motion. Motion beats perfection. And done is always better than perfect. So many people are looking for the perfect flyer and, oh, the font is not right on my website. Taking 3 days to make an email signature is just ridiculous. Put your name at the bottom and we'll get back to that later. We have money-making ideas, income-producing things to take care of first and foremost. Done is always better than perfect. We can get back to that. So the progress has to occur. So here's one thing I take a look at where here are the things that stump some of the entrepreneurs up. I have to start my LLC. I have to get the banking information. I have to get an address. I got to get a phone number. Why do you believe that that has to happen all in one day? So let's take it in bite-sized pieces. If you're looking to start a business, then day one, how about Monday, next week? Day one, we sit and we think about what is the business name that we want to do. Let's just start there. Monday, I'm just going to do that. Monday, just focus on what is the name of the business that we're going to do that is going to be impactful for my new vision. Tuesday, day two, how about we just get the business address? Now we start looking for business addresses. Let's go to iPostal or Regis and start looking for a business address that exists for our business. Not a Staples address, not a UPS address. We want an actual brick and mortar address. Yes, you can buy them. They're called virtual addresses. Day three, that's it. Okay, day two, you already did what you needed to do. You got it. Nothing too overwhelming. Day three, guys, these don't take hours and hours. Day three, how about we find a phone number? How about we find a phone number for the business? How about we go to Freedom Voice and get ourselves a business phone number? Because we can't be giving our cell phone number out on our business. We can't give our home address on our business information. Do you want people just popping up at your home? No. Day four, how about we create your business plan? So by Thursday, you can now go onto ChatGPT and it can help you create your business plan. And by Friday, the fifth day, how about we start searching out some bank accounts just for your brand new business account? Doable, right? So by the end of the week, you have now figured out everything necessary inside of your business to do. Okay? So we don't have to overcomplicate things of saying, oh, well, this is the reason why you want to have an accountability partner, a coach to kind of help you move these things through so that these small things are done. The progress has to what? Continue. It has to continue. Okay? So all of this has to do with changing ourselves. We're evolving. We're evolving. We're evolving. We're always evolving. Our phones are updating all the time. Computer software, updating. We shed skin every day. We're evolving. All right. We're changing. So my question is, why don't we do that in our own business? We've already gone through the reasons why we're so scared, but I don't think there's enough reason on why we get into the business, right? My dad is my biggest why. And for anything, I'm trying to help him with technology, but he can't drive as much as he should be. He shouldn't be driving as much as he is. So what I did was I made sure he's got an app on his phone with Lyft. All I need him to do is use that when he's ready to go out. So for me, that was a big why and a heaviness off my chest. If I can't drive you somewhere, I don't want you driving yourself somewhere, Dad. I just need you to get onto the app and tell the damn thing where you want to go. Don't worry about it. I got it. Just go. And that for me was a huge reason why I've got to make more money. I've got to be successful in what I'm doing. And anybody that I speak with, I'm finding out what is your why? Because that's what's going to keep you moving forward when the shit hits the fan, when people don't call you back, okay? When things don't seem to be going your way, right? We have to, we're reinventing ourselves every single day. So as I mentioned, if we're going through all of these different changes, the world is changing, AI is changing us every 6 months, just about. Remember that. Why aren't you? In your business, there may be a time where a season in 2007, you were top realtor and your signature has all the accolades. 2007, top realtor, doing that. I'm like, there's 2007, boo. It's still in your email signature from 2007. That was then. Your new self, are you still top in 2025? Did you get that same award? I'm not hating on the award. What I'm saying is that yesterday you is not the today you. The hustle is different. All right. The momentum is different than it is now. So you have to keep reinventing yourself to stay up. Did I want to come out the gate doing a lot of videos? I did, but I didn't want to. I did creatively, but we're in a space now where that visibility is necessary. But you've got to reinvent yourself to do things in order to stay in the business that you chose. Okay. So one thing I have learned is that you don't need another title. You don't need another certification. You damn sure don't need another course. Okay. You don't need another notebook full of ideas that you're not going to get back to. You need another chapter. No more. No more notebooks. You know enough. You know enough. It's just time for execution. For me, reinvention looked like real estate, then entrepreneurship when I got into that group, the Circle of Champions. Home and business financing, mortgages, real estate, like all of that was all in the beginning of my career. Then I got into coaching. Then I got into AI consulting. Not because I was chasing each one of those, but because I was willing to evolve. And so the people who thrive they don't resist that change. They understand I have to lean into it. I don't want to do it, but I know I need to do it. They learn to embrace it. Think about companies that have gone out of business because they did not embrace change. Blockbuster. Remember Blockbuster? Friday nights, everybody piled up to get the movies, to get the one on the bottom. Getting about 2 to 4 different movies, that doesn't exist anymore. We don't do that anymore. They could not reinvent themselves to stay in business. Now what do? Netflix and chill. Okay. And if I wanted popcorn, I could get it delivered now. I don't even have to go to the store to get that. Right. So the delivery service has even changed where I don't have to go get the groceries. The groceries can come to me. Are you embracing your time? Are you looking to retire and you're trying to pivot and trying to figure out what's next? Are you looking at your 9 to 5 job saying, I love you, but I don't know if you love me back? Okay. I've had 4 people this year already share with me, my department is reorganizing and I'm not going to be certain to have my job in the next 4 months. That's just 4 people, 4 different people this year. Good job. Never thought that they would be let go. Great position, but with the company over 15 years, all of them. So, why entrepreneurship? I'm not saying that this is what you have to do in place of your job, but why from 9 to 5? You can do that. From 5 to 9, you better mosey on and get something going on because this economy is not playing fair. It is not playing fair. Okay. Everything that you've learned up until this moment, take a look at, think about your resume. All the things that you've done up until this point, 20 years ago, whether you love the job or not, guess what it built? A better you, a better employee, a better entrepreneur, a better CEO. It built a better you. And that experience is everything. So there's no job that I would ever just take away and just say, I wish I never. It built the individual who you are today. And the life you want, the life that you want, that I want, is on the other side of the decision. It's simply a decision. If I'm going to go to the gym tomorrow at 6:30, I made a decision. I'm going to do it. But if I didn't make that decision to get up, then I would just lay there. Just say, oh, I'll just wait. I can lay there till 7:30. No, I'll do it next week. I'll still be fat next week. It's okay. No, I want to be smaller. I want to be smaller now. So we have to focus on here and now, making a decision. All right. So today's conversation was just simply that. We're not hard pressed. Hopefully you put the framework in, but there wasn't even a notebook. All right. There you go. That's exactly what I mean. 5 to 9, 5 to 9 is your time. And those things, if you put things in bite-sized pieces, just doing a little bit every day, your next income move will be here before you know it. All right. But you don't have to do everything in one night. And the biggest thing that a lot of folks that I come across say is, I don't have time. You got time. You got time. You got 45 minutes. You got 45 minutes today and 45 minutes tomorrow to work on something. I promise you. Okay. So many of the conversations come up when it comes to now what? How do I put all this together? Okay. The conversation, if it resonated with you, if you're sitting there thinking, I know I'm capable of more, that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here as your coach to kind of bring all these things together. I don't know what my next income move is. I want to help you put that together. I want to help you put that together because I remember 2010. And that is the main reason why I help realtors, entrepreneurs, caregivers, nurses put their ideas together so that it's not an issue going forward because they need that accountability. They need that help to get them over the finish line. 2025 was very rough of a year. There were over 21 million people that were laid off or discharged all across the US because of this economy. Okay. So why do I do what I do with entrepreneurs? This is why. 21 million people. It's time for you to create something of your own and be able to sustain that and be a blessing in the community to someone else. So we're not looking at another course. The VIP intensive day is something that is passionate to me that I created just for you. And this is a day where we get to spend together. It's not a course, it's not a webinar, I promise you. It's a one-on-one private day where we get to spend 6 to 8 hours on you. You figuring out your 4 questions, the answers to your 4 questions, and figuring out, let's get this clarity together. Let's figure out what is your business offer. One, we're not talking about give me the top four. One. And we're going to get that business launched together. Okay. So that's going to be a personalized plan that will take you out 90 days. And then you're off and running. That's it. My goal is very simple. I want you to leave with the clarity and the confidence that you deserve. You've got the roadmap after that so that you can start what you said you wanted to get done. Okay. And that's the momentum that you need. Okay. And what does it begin with? It begins with a decision. So the VIP intensive day, I have some income spots for that. Excuse me. I have some spots for that. If that is something that you're interested in, I can only take a few a month, but I'm interested in hearing about your business, hearing about your ideas, and I'm ready to get it going. Because the rest of this year really starts with what is my rate of return when I invest in myself? Because what I'm doing is not working by myself, and I need to get this started. Okay, so if that's you and that's what you need some help with, you're welcome. I want to make sure that I'm your coach and we're working together to get that out. Definitely will be more of these. So if it's something, if you're on IG and you wanted to get that information about the VIP intensive day, the one-on-one day with me, just comment the word VIP and you'll get the information for the assessment so that you can get started. The assessment is free, but at least it gives some clarity on what kind of questions and see if that business is going to be something we can work with. So drop the word VIP in the comment section if that's something that you want to get more information on. Fill out the assessment and I'll be in touch with you ASAP so that we can get your business started and reviewed. All right. You matter. This momentum matters. And I want to make sure that I'm part of that across the finish line. You'll take a look also, if you take a look at the assessment, you'll take a look at some of the other realtors and investors and entrepreneurs that I have helped so that you can at least see, Lorie didn't just do this yesterday. She's not just making this up. All right. So I love to work with you. Thanks so much for joining and definitely stay tuned for the next one. I'll see you soon.